I'm back with Saturn and sign of Virgo. Well, with Saturn and Virgo is a pretty interesting placement because, we talk about Saturn and we talk about how stern Saturn is and the obstacles that Saturn presents and the delays and the restrictions and the not so nice things. And then we talk about Virgo, who is detailed oriented, who is focused, who is methodologically, who is consistent, who is structured, and they take their time if need be, who's critical at times, who's there for the long haul. And you put them together and you have somebody, even though early on could have had some rather difficult times, you have somebody who is able to stay the course and who can build something that is phenomenal structures, a phenomenal business, a phenomenal family unit that works together to help each other out, that works like a machine. And I don't know, like when I'm talking about Capricorn, I don't talk in a limited way. Capricorn, that Saturnian energy is always talking about limitations. However, the limitations come because of the securities we have around certain aspects that we have tied to certain karmas that we have. So yes, Saturn and Virgo is no different. A lot of Saturn and Virgo individuals could find it hard though to feel secure in work, job, even individuals that they're coming across, because they can feel like, well, some way or another, I feel like I get stabbed in the back. I feel like I get used. I feel like I get taken advantage of. Okay. So don't get me wrong. It has its shortcomings. It has its obstacles. You can have situations to where work is hard. It's strenuous. It's taking up a lot of your time. It's hard to build up or save up the type of money that you want. Okay, depending on where this placement is. If you got Saturn and Virgo in the 10th house, you will see this a lot more. It just depends on where your placement is, what's aspecting it. Because sometimes you do get Saturn and Virgo individuals, if they get this easier early on, like it may be something that they're not ready for. Like they could come across these type of situations to where they're being put in the front of a job, like a manager quick, or in a family unit, they can be asked to hold more of the weight or the responsibility, and everybody looks to them to be the more mature ones, to get things done that other people are leaving behind, that's not getting done. And for these people, it could seem like, oh my gosh, you're the person in charge, you're the one to go to. But for them, they could feel like it's a lot that they're missing out on. They're missing out on just being able to be free. They're missing out on just being able to have fun. It's always a heavy workload or responsibility in providing and producing. And they could be getting paid for the ones where they get placed in these high positions. If that's the case, they could be getting paid. But at the same time, they feel like, man, like, I don't even get a chance to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Because it's like I'm paying it out to other people, other responsibilities. I got this high house payment. I have kids I have to take care of. And it's like sometimes it just feels like it may be better to just let that all go and be able to just enjoy life. And mind you, because of the heavy burden that a lot of them can bear with things associated with just everyday life, a lot of them can go into the place to where they just decide like, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about this or that. I'm not even going to be responsible. And then there's people around them, like their family, the people at the job. It's like, listen, I need for you to be on it. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do better. And they're just like, man, I ain't trying to hear. So you can find some of these people that come up on the other side of this coin, because there's two sides to a coin with every placement, every sign, that just is like, I don't want to be responsible. I'm tired of being responsible. I'm tired of being freaking responsible for everybody and everything. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, people with Saturn and Virgo, they are responsible for a lot. Like, they're responsible for a lot of stuff. If people's feelings are hurt, they're responsible for that. And rarely do they really voice the load that they have on their back. And I'm going to tell you, if you have like a sun sign or a Mercury that's in a like, or that's a sign that's more reserved with feelings and emotions, or you don't really know how to explain that or communicate that, people could really take advantage of you, or they could get mad at you or upset at you or angry at you because they don't understand what's going on with you and the burden that you may have, or what you're trying to work through, the issues that you may trying to work through, or whatever. They don't understand it. So they could feel almost as if, you're like, they don't know what's going on and they don't understand, and they can hold you responsible for what their feelings are, and even try to get you back with child support. Like, if you're a father, seriously, like if you're like the father, or like you're the, or the guy, and you have a child with a female, and you could have other children with other people, or you could just be trying to make things work with your job. It's like, every time I get things going good, boom, here we go. It's like I'm starting over again. And not really being able to voice that to the mother or the other parent, they can take it like a revenge, like, okay, well, I'm going to get you back. They could turn into your enemy. It's very interesting because there's a lot that goes on here. And it could just be even feeling like your childhood, you didn't really have the childhood that you wanted, or it could have been different. It's just like a lot of responsibility, even if you were the younger one. It is what it is. But see, this is the thing. Because if it takes you guys a time, like a long time, or after you're 32, after you're 35, and then you decide that you should move past a lot of your insecurities, when you finally do, oh my God, like, you will probably be a person that can like have a very big family unit, or like a company, be part of that, or help out with that. Like, you could literally build your own company, or someone else that's doing that can that's trying to do that for themselves. You could come in and you could be a part of that working unit. You could have your own business. You could, or end up getting the job of your dreams, doing the work that you love, and building on it and saving that money and getting that money. A lot of you guys see this happen like after your children get a certain age, and then it's like, okay, now I don't got to pay child support. Oh man, that's even more money I'm saving. And then or the power gets turned back over into your hands from what you had to go through. Now, we can't go over or skip over the part about the criticism. You can always be criticized about what you do, how you do your job, people being picky about that. Or you can be a person that is overly critical about the way, especially if you're like a manager or something like that, about the way the job gets done. You may want it to be done perfect. You may want people to act darn near perfect, and when they don't, then you're looking for something else, or you're chastising them in some type of way. You're being nitpicky. You're being critical. And this can damage or interfere with your relationships with your spouse, your relationships with your children, because they can look at you as almost wanting to see them as perfect. Okay. But you get less than perfect people that you deal with, and less than perfect situations that you deal with all the time. And it's just to show you that life ain't perfect. And when you can let go of that vision of the perfection that you strive for, and getting it through the criticism that you place on other people, you will see that, oh my gosh, you know what? I have everything I want right here up under my nose. So this has been Saturn and Virgo. I'm your girl, Butterfly to Light. I'll be back.